Come, let us practice Buddhist philosophy and Tantric Chanting to help us meditate like a Jedi. Let us begin with stress, the first noble truth. From an evolutionary perspective, stress is anything that circumstantially, physically, interpersonally, or mentally inhibits our ability to survive and thrive as a species. We return now to craving, the second noble truth. We evolved a collection of instincts to survive those stressors. These are fine when used sparingly, but since the Neolithic Revolution, we as a species have been forced to overuse them. Enslaved by the fleeting short-term pleasures of our dopamine-oriented reward system, we have become defined by our controlling tendencies. And as such, overfocus, overanalyze, and overbelieve to such a degree that we exhaust our dorsolateral and medial prefrontal cortex, which triggers our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression, causing a cowardice, competition, and cruelty to be the guiding light by which we needlessly squander our brief human lives. Turn now to liberation, the third noble truth. The fulfillment for which we yearn could only be delivered by our oxytocin-oriented system that rewards for cooperation and kindness. This meaningful path has 8 folds. This brings us to path, the fourth noble truth. Let us forsake the exhausting habit of actively fighting against our own autonomic nervous system, the hardware of our Buddha nature, and instead with it cooperate. By silently and mentally reciting the verb watch each time we feel air enter our nostrils, and by silently and mentally reciting the verb rest each time we feel our air leave our nostrils. Very shortly, we shall explore how this works. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's hit this symbol and this symbol, this symbol and that symbol. And let's hit this button. There we go. Copy. So I'm going to, having completed our opening recitation, we could now shift gears. It is Luke Skywalker Friday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. After about 30 seconds of housekeeping, this is the Dzogchen Samde Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to meditate like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Let us practice bliss and letting go in such a manner that it feels as if the forest itself is giving us a kiss upon the top of our head. To do this, we require neither faith nor visualization, but instead the simple recitation of the following 6 syllables: Lama, come to pay crown. That's it. Lama, come to pay crown. Lama, come to pay crown. Lama, come to pay crown. Let us practice the first set of the awareness letting go, that is meditating like a Jedi, the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. You might find it helpful to use the tip of your left index finger to support the great knuckle of your right index finger, palms up, in your lap. Do not be shy. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or meditation, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I do check for questions sporadically or periodically. We come now to mindfulness, the seventh fold. During each inhalation, spontaneous and uncontrived, the sympathetic nervous system centered in the middle bit of our spinal cord is already wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly watch our perceptions. The sight, sound, sensations, flavors, and scents of the four bases of mindfulness: the circumstantial, the physical, interpersonal, and mental, including our abilities to emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. Instead of indulging our controlling tendencies to shove at circumstantial danger, physical pain, interpersonal scorn, and mental shame, as well as reach for circumstantial safety, physical bliss, interpersonal praise, and mental fame, let us choose to be vulnerable to all that we experience, from the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. What are we to do with all that we watch? Simple. With every exhalation, the top bit and the bottom bit of that same spinal cord, known as our parasympathetic nervous system, is already wired to rest in such a manner that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and even as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could look tantalizing to the eye, could feel non-graspable to the hand. Until, of course, the next inhalation, when the cycle begins afresh, and like the ticking pendulum of a grandfather clock, we continue to watch mind's antics and rest in its non-graspable nature. So I'm going to put this right here. And I don't think it's going to fit on the screen, so I'm going to move it here. Okay. Let us practice the holocron of impermanence and interdependence, the first fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. Together. Rather than indulge our controlling tendencies with the follies of let's try it from the top. Rather than indulge our controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these wise words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors or statements literal, and instead relax into the flexibilities that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. Let us begin by bringing our experience of the circumstantial into the path of the wisdom of letting go. together. All circumstances or lots in their fears. All circumstances or lots in their fears, as appearing yet ungraspable as are Buddhas, real or imagined paradise per land or vati of light, could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. Let us divide the silent and mental recitation of this six-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. Lots, fears, melts into form. Our job is not to visualize. Our job is not to believe. All we're going to do is vulnerably and passively play with these words in harmony with our breathing, and that is enough to excite the neural pathways responsible for the observation that the world around us is not as independent or permanent as it might seem. And now let us bring our experience of the physical into the path of the wisdom of letting go. All bodies or forms and their fears, as sensual yet non-graspable as a devi or yidams, real or imagined body of light, could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. Forms, fears melt into speech. Let us now bring our experience of the interpersonal into the path of the wisdom of letting go. All interpersonal speech and its fears, as resounding and ungraspable as a real or imagined horizontal mantra rosary of light, could be as impermanent and interdependent as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could delightfully absorb into this mind. One moment. Speech, fears melt into mind. In addition, so now let us bring our experience of the mental into the path of the wisdom of letting go. All lucid perceiving, emoting, intending, thinking, recalling and imagining minds and their fears, as lucid yet non-graspable as are real or imagined, one syllable seed or bija mantra of light, could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could life and absorb into our vast empty void. Mind spheres melt into void. Let's practice the second set of the awareness and letting go that is meditating like a Jedi, the seventh and eighth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. As we breathe in, let us silently and mentally recite the verb watch. As we breathe out, let us silently and mentally recite the verb rest. Come, let us explore Bengali crease counting. The acquisition of a new skill could make us anxious and even feel that we, like Rip Van Winkle, could sit to meditate only to open our eyes and find that a century has passed us by. Some have found that the best way to non-neurotically time our meditation is to practice a variation of Bengali crease counting. It could take more than 1 minute. Whoopsie, let's try this again. It could take more than 1 minute to count 16 inhalations by touching the tip of our right thumb to the creases and tips of its little, ring, middle, and index fingers. It could take more than 20 minutes to count 16 sets of 16 inhalations each by touching the tip of our left thumb to the creases and tips of its little, ring, middle, and index fingers. Oopsie. It could take more than an hour to count three collections of 16 sets of 16 inhalations each by using the tip. One moment. Okay. I'm going to have to do a more, what's it called? Elaborate edit. See if this fits okay, and it does. One moment, please. Okay, I think this will work. So let's take it from the top, shall we? It could take more than an hour to count 3 collections of 16 sets of 16 inhalations each by using the tip of our left index or middle finger to support our right index or middle finger's larger lower knuckle. Then support its middle knuckle, and then support its very small upper knuckle, all while resting both our hands palms up in our lap. Remember, that which at first feels awkward could be mastered if practiced once every 12 hours after only a week or so. Now, let's see real quickly. Oopsie. Coordination, don't fail me now. Let us practice bliss and letting go in such a manner that it could feel like the Force itself is giving us a hug. Once again, to do this requires neither blind faith nor active visualization. Instead, we're going to simply play with the next 6 syllables. This is also going to be facilitated by resting or using the tip of our left middle finger to support the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger. Lama, blend with this mind. Lama, blend with this mind. Lama, blend with this mind. Let us practice the third set of the awareness and letting go, that is, meditating like a Jedi, the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Do not be shy. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions periodically. So in this part of the practice, instead of relying on our nostrils, we're going to rely on our chest. As we feel our chest swell, silently and mentally we recite the verb watch. As we feel our chest sink, silently and mentally we recite the verb rest. Let us explore the wisdom of the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. As we sit and breathe and watch and rest, all that we notice could fleetingly and effortlessly come to feel impermanent, evanescent, and far too subject to change to ever be permanently grasped. The more we sit and breathe and watch and rest, the more our angry and aggressive amygdala is calmed. And the more our empathetic anterior cingulate gyrus is gently stimulated, so marinating our experience of the four bases of mindfulness that mentally our intentions are spontaneously kinder, interpersonally our utterances are naturally kinder. Physically, our conduct is automatically kinder, and circumstantially, our commerce is impulsively kinder. Thus, forging a heaven on earth, eventually a peaceful death, and even an auspicious rebirth, figuratively, if not literally. So I'm going to stop you right here. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks, including humans, including meditation teachers. The majority are stuck in infantile, the wording is not quite, they're stuck in a place where they remain rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. The type of concentration and contemplation that reinforces this makes spontaneous love an impossibility. The only way to be spontaneously loving is to traverse the path of mindfulness and meditation that support us in being flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. So wherever there are humans, whether they fancy them some spiritual or secular or professional or recreational, those who are rigid and controlling cannot help you to find peace and fulfillment. They can only make you twice the son of perdition as themselves. The more we watch mind's antics and rest in its non-graspable nature, the more we automatically experience the effortless effort, or wu-wei, that comes not from calculated contrivance nor from wild scatterness, but instead from love's deeply centered spontaneity. Let us transcend our elitist conditioning and consider the possibility that enlightenment is merely mastery of this eightfold path. As children, the skills to use the toilet, brush our teeth, tie our shoes, and ride a bike felt insurmountable. And yet, with time and effort and tears, we so mastered these skills that we could perform them spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. Similarly, enlightenment's eightfold path could likewise be effortless. Perhaps that is why that in the second final passage of his discourse on the four bases of mindfulness, the Buddha is said to have explained that one could master this path in as suddenly as 7 days. No, doing so does not mean we'll never experience any pain ever again. It simply means we will have mastered the Buddha's figurative tool chest, with which we could sustainably respond to each sling and arrow of outrageous fortune. So once every 12 hours or so, may we sit and breathe and watch and rest. Let us practice the holocron of love and letting go, the second through fifth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. We'll begin by chanting an explanation of this 10-syllable mantra. I invoke the love that spiritually liberates Tade and physically rescues to Tade as well as blesses Ture. May all beings master this dynamism Soha. Let us bring our experience of the mental into the path of love. May all minds of all beings now be as joyfully enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a bija one-syllable seed mantra tamoti clay drop. Let us divide the silent and mental recitation of this 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. For all minds, wisdom, joy. And now we come to the real mantra meditation, the union of love and letting go. As we breathe in, we could silently and mentally recite the entire 6-syllable wish, for all minds, wisdom, joy. During our exhalation, we can do two things. We can physically relax as best we can, while silently, striving to chant the 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. Om Tade Dudane Durisawa, Om Tade Dudane Durisawa, Om Tade Dudane Durisawa, Om Tade Dudane Durisawa. Om Tade Dudane Durisawa, Om Tade Dudane Durisawa, Om Tade Dudane Durisawa, Om Tade Dudane Durisawa. There is always going to be controlling sourpuss fools demanding we make things more difficult, demanding we contrive emotions or actively visualize. But that is a dead end masquerading as a shortcut. The Buddha taught we can master his path in as little as 7 days. That infers a path that is as easy as it is poignant. So let's remember to keep it simple, silly. Om Tade Dudane Durisawa, Om Tade Dudane Durisawa, Om Tade Dudane Durisawa, Om Tade Dudane Durisawa. Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa. Let us bring our experience of the interpersonal into the path of love and letting go, the third fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. May all relationships, communication, or speech of all beings known be as peacefully loving as a real or imagined Buddhist speech or communication symbolized by this horizontal insertable mantra. For all speech, peaceful love. As we breathe in, let us silently and mentally recite the 6-syllable loving wish, for all speech, peaceful love. During our exhalation, let us physically relax as best we can while striving to chant the 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. Om Tane Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tane Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tane Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tane Du Nani Nuri Suwa. Om Tane Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tane Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tane Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tane Du Nani Nuri Suwa. Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa. Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa. Let us bring our experience of the physical into the path of love and letting go, which is the 4th fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. May all bodies or forms of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health depicted in Buddhist statuary of the blissful body of a Devi or Yadama archetype of enlightenment such as Green Tara. For all forms, pretty health. Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa. Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa. Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa, Om Tani Du Nani Nuri Suwa. Om Tari Du Dari Duri Sawa, Om Tari Du Dari Duri Sawa, Om Tari Du Dari Duri Sawa, Om Tari Du Dari Duri Sawa. Finally, we're going to bring our experience of the circumstantial into the path of love, the fifth fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. May all circumstances, all lots of all beings know have the safety, a great fortune, or boon. As for Buddha's real or imagined paradise, per land or vanity. For all lots, safety, luck. Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa. Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa. Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa. Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa, Om Tare Du Nare Nuri Sawa. Let's practice the fourth set of the awareness and letting go, that is, meditating like a Jedi. The seventh and eighth folds of the Buddha's eightfold path that generate the effortless effort of the sixth fold. Let's see, I'm going to tap button 4. So, for this final silent meditation of this early session, let us use the tip of our left middle finger to support the great knuckle of our right middle finger. In all compassion, may we long to free all beings from the toxic tyranny of heaven. Hating, craving, and clinging, metaphorically known as the three mental poisons. In all pragmatism, may all liberation of all others be fueled by... Let's try this again. In all liberation, may all Take 3. In all pragmatism, may all liberation of all others be fueled by the three Vishwa-filling jewels of following the Buddha's example, applying his instructions, and cooperating with the students. Having sat for the better part of an hour, we might find it refreshing. We might find it refreshing to conversationally recite the 8-syllable synopsis of that which we just chanted, while simultaneously performing 12-phase sun salutations. May we free all through the 3 jewels. So if you are prone to motion sickness, brace yourself. I'm going to swing the computer around. Here we go. May we free thee, free all, through thee, 3 jewels. May we free all through thee, 3 jewels. May we free all through the 3 jewels. Let us seal this morning's practice by chanting the wishes for the preservation of the Buddha's teachings. May each meditation teacher truly understand the Buddha's teachings and practice master as well as teach him generously, lovingly, and wisely in the manner of centered spontaneity. May each meditation teacher spontaneously receive generous patrons, enthusiastic students, as well as devoted apprentices. And thus may many Dharma centers be successfully planted, nurtured, and flourish. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 2 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's second recitation and meditation. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.